Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. The MLB at Field of Dreams returns. Bryce Harper and the Philadelphia Phillies face Byron Buxton and the Minnesota Twins at the iconic Field of Dreams ballpark. The field is calling. Watch the MLB at Field of Dreams game live on Netflix Thursday, August 13th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific.
All right, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast with Kevin and Chuck. You guys are going to be excited. Today is the 100th episode of the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast. So that's an exciting time. You know, I watch a lot of these other survival podcasts. I'm always worried about, moving up to the number one spot. It doesn't seem to happen. I don't know what... But we know we're number one in the hearts of our fans. That's what it is right there. I don't know what YouTube's crazy ranking system is. But, so...
Nobody wants to listen to a podcast on YouTube anyway, though.
Or, well, whatever, iTunes.
Oh,
I
on
don't even know
iTunes,
what I'm talking about. Right. No, I don't... YouTube, I don't even think we're relevant. But, anyway, so, moving right along. Now, as promised... we talked about doing an episode on questions from our listeners. This is exciting. However, I have some questions myself that we need to get into.
All right. Well, let's get to the bottom of this.
So it turns out there's some kind of book out, and I hear about it from the kids that, coming back from school or whatever. So the book is called Introducing Teddy. And turns out it's a gentle story about gender and friendship. Now you're like, well, what could that be? Gender and friendship. Well, it turns out there's some kind of bear. We'll call him Teddy. I think if you get into it, his name is Thomas.
Thomas.
But he starts out with a bow tie on his neck. And about 3/4 of the way through the story, it's a barrette in his hair.
Nice.
Now, I don't even... know where to go with this. However, we're reading this book to preschoolers.
Now, this is... teachers are reading this to children?
Teachers are reading this to children. Now, the description says, Earl and his Teddy Thomas are best friends who do everything together. Whether it's riding a bike, playing in the treehouse, having tea, or all of the above. Every day holds something fun. And it goes on, whatever, tells you a bunch of crap. But let me share some of these reviews with you, and I think you're going to find it a little bit disturbing. Because I found it a little bit disturbing, and maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a fascist? I don't know what.
Homophobe?
A homophobe. They're not even gay. I don't know what's going on here. So, all right, Introducing Teddy is a story about a toy bear who wants to be Tilly, a girl bear. This is a story that deals with transgender feelings, albeit a bit simplistic. It relays the message in a gentle manner.
I think that's important that we teach all the 4-year-olds about.
In a gentle way. You don't want to be too abrupt, right? But, all right, one more. I was so happy to share this with the young children in my class. Such an important book. What a beautiful message. Next one, love this book. Wonderful book, so helpful for children to learn and celebrate how unique and special each child born. How unique and special is each child born. I don't know. Can't get enough.
Now these are people who are teaching are teachers. What school districts are they teaching in? They didn't put that down there though, huh?
No, well, no. But my thought is, all right, whatever. I mean, you want to be a chick, a dude, or whatever. I don't care. That's not my problem. But my problem is in preschool. That doesn't sound like, who's thinking like, oh, I really don't feel like, kids want to, boys want to put a barrette in their hair or something. Now all of a sudden he's identifying as, oh, I'm going to be a transgender guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure it really leads quite to that, but that's what we're encouraging.
Well, hey, it's a different world, man.
My point is, America's taking a slight turn in direction from where we were 20 years ago. Mm. So let's see if we can maybe set things right.
Yeah, just get the pendulum swinging the other way.
All we can do, the way I see it, if we're so manly and the rest of the world is this, it'll probably balance out, right? Mm-hmm. Right. It always seems logical,
that's why
right?
we win wars, right?
That's how we win wars. All right, so let's dig into this. What's the first question?
All right, question number 1 comes from Ryan.
Tell me about Ryan. What's Ryan got for us?
Ryan's question is, in a barter situation, post shit hits the fan, what are some good safe measures to take when meeting people you're not formally acquainted with to trade goods or services? Basically, what he's got here is meeting points, keeping a secure perimeter, concealing your homestead supply cache, warning signs of a potentially hostile person. Now, how do you set up a trade in a place where there are no laws?
Well, there's a couple thoughts. Initially, I'd say you really want to just deal with people who you know or people who can be vouched for. Mm-hmm. That's a starting point. Now, that may not be realistic.
Yeah. Now, I know when I'm trying to set up a deal to buy heroin, you want to make sure somebody vouches for
right,
you.
Because, maybe you're going to frisk them, pat them down before you... Mm-hmm. All right, so let's kind of dig into this a little bit. The way I see it, and again, some of this comes from some books I've read. Turns out I know a little bit about prepping. I've read a book.
Things other than Teddy
book.
And Tilly?
Well, Teddy and Tilly is a go-to, right? But, so... Here, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes.
Good, because I think all our non-gender conforming listeners probably want to know about this.
It's bad. Anyway, so basically, what I like is, the way I imagine it. All right, you set up your compound, right? Because this is at a point where we're thinking bartering and
we've moved beyond the basics of survival.
The lights went out, whatever. We're, everybody's desperate. You've security, roving gangs. We're a week or two into things not being good. That's how it is in my head. So you've already established some kind of security around your compound. Otherwise, you're probably not still there. Mm-hmm. I hate to say it. So you have some kind of security. Somebody comes up and approaches your camp, you see them come up the road or whatever. Your guys are like, hey, they come up, they're like, oh, if they're waving guns and stuff at you, they're probably getting shot. That's my guess. And then you can just have their stuff. That's the rule.
Right.
I mean, I can't help that. I didn't make the rules. I just follow them.
Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. We've established that in grade school.
Since preschool.
Yeah.
And obviously that's where the standards are set. So, that said, you can basically, as people approach, you're like, hey, lay down your weapons, whatever. Send out just one person to come talk to us, whatever. As the guy approaches, you either stand there with guns trained on him, or you can decide to frisk him and let him kind of come in and whatever. Mm-hmm. You definitely don't want to put all your wares out.
Right.
And you say, hey, what do you got? What are you looking for? What can we help you with? Oh, I need this. I have whatever. You work it out. But again, you don't say, hey, I have this. You always kind of want to approach it, I think, as well, what do you need?
Right.
You don't say, oh, I have tons of ammo. I can whatever. Mm-hmm. But if he's like, oh, I got this pig, be like, well, I do like pigs. I like bacon. Whatever. You might be able to, all right, well, for a pig, I'm happy to, and I wouldn't go through my inventory. I would be like, you know what? For a pig, bullets are hard to come by. I got 100 rounds of 22 and 20 rounds of 5.56, and you can shoot a lot of animals with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm willing to do. Whatever. I'm not trying to establish a system of trade here. What I'm saying is only list what you feel that it's worth. Another thing, when you're out there making these deals, say you actually set up a barter community, like you kind of have these church flea markets,
right,
that kind of thing. If you have the security around, you have the Overwatch, you want an Overwatch. There's got to be people up looking overhead. Again, this is for like a flea market type situation. I'm not, on your compound, people come up. Hopefully you have some kind of Overwatch system set up when people approach anyway. But bottom line, if you're setting up a flea market, you're going to have security. You're going to have to frisk everybody before they come in, or they're not going to be able to come in.
Now, what's the situation, though, if you're going to somebody else's flea market? If you're on the outside and you hear somebody has a flea market, you need somebody
vouching for them,
mm-hmm.
I'd be leery, but I think you're going to kind of hear rumors and the gossip.
Right.
If there's a little trading post set up and it's every, Saturday or whatever, you can kind of scope it out from afar. And if the rule is give up your weapons, well, you have to decide, is what you need.
Is that worthwhile?
Is that worth it? So,
right. So do as much research as possible before you go, right?
That sounds right. But bottom line, you don't want to divulge anything of what you got.
Mm-hmm.
You want to basically get them to divulge whatever.
Yeah.
But, you don't want to let somebody get in and just scope things out. You want to bring it out to them after.
Right.
I have 2 silver coins for whatever you have. You're not, whipping out, here's my big change purse with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's, so.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Well, a couple things I wanted to add there. Have a backup plan with this sort of stuff. Keep all your chit-chat away.
That's 45, isn't it? Is that your backup plan?
Keep all your chit-chat away from any personal details, maybe about where you're set up, where you're staying.
How many in your group?
Mm-hmm. Don't bring your whole stash, but you already covered that one there. Loose lips sink ships. Be respectful when you're dealing with people you're not sure about. Don't make jokes about this and that.
No.
And trust your instincts when it comes to that sort of stuff.
So you might not want to go running your mouth about transgender, and you never know who you're going to offend.
That's exactly right. It could be Tilly that you're dealing with.
Could be Tilly.
I actually was trying to research this question, come up with some ideas that I hadn't thought of. Best ones I found were sites on when you're going to meet your blind date. How do you
scope
get
her out?
Prepared? Yeah.
All right.
Well, this is for girls scared of getting raped. These websites,
That's smart.
So I checked it out. The other one is pepper spray. That was the only one we didn't cover that doesn't necessarily apply to this one here. Let's go to a question from Mike here.
Mike had a couple questions.
He had 3 of them here.
I had 2. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Looks like you're a better reader than I am.
The top 5 places for a prepared-minded person or family to live. What do you think?
Well, I was like in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the government has some secret compounds hidden out there. Maybe they're not that secret, but Jesse Ventura.
You know about
he gets to the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
That guy doesn't mess around, right?
Yep.
Missouri, you can grow a lot. It's a little bit hot.
It's a little warm there.
A lot of the whole Ozark underground cave thing going on they got there.
Have you seen the show Ozark?
Oh.
Yeah, there's the whole show about it. And they're laundering drug money.
Drug money? All
so
right.
Not a bad show. Kentucky. Kentucky is on my top. Kentucky and Tennessee.
All right.
They got a lot of rain, good growing season, and good soil there. None of them are too crazy about property taxes and property prices. So now, when it comes to picking locations, I would say you got to think about a couple of questions to just keep in your mind when you're looking around. Weather, what's the climate like? You know, Alaska seems like it'd be great, but you're not growing a whole lot of food there.
No.
Clean water. Nevada, another great place that would seem great until you realize you not a whole lot of drinking water.
No.
Taxes. New York State, upstate New York, great. But they rape you on taxes.
And they do have some gun issues.
They do have a lot of gun issues. That's another thing you want to talk about is laws, you know, what the laws are there. Property prices and available building materials. When you're buying a piece of property, you want to have some timber and, even some good rock and stone on the property for building, building foundations and things like that is something to keep in mind. And building codes when you're getting set up. A lot of places are very strict about
you got to check into it.
There are some places that'll give you a hard time even for just trying to have an off-the-grid property.
There's a lot of people who will give you a hard time for having a van with lettering on the side of it in your driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Or if your bushes are too tall.
Right.
So, I mean, you got to realize this. Some of you might be moving from one spot where everything's cool.
Yeah.
To not
there was
so
a
cool. So
person that got in trouble recently for growing vegetables in their front yard.
Nice.
Because it wasn't like everybody else's front yard. And that was what the city ordinance said, is that it has to be fit in with the other front yards in the neighborhood.
That sounds appropriate. There was actually a website we mentioned a while back, the Freedom in the 50 States. And it has a interactive map, and you can kind of choose it's Freedom in the 50 States, from the Cato.org. But I'll put a link in the show notes, and it's definitely something you can search and find pretty easy. But you can search what's important to you. Gun rights, building codes, taxes, health care, drug use. Turns out some people consider being able to use drugs as a freedom.
Important thing, right?
So whatever. I mean, you just, they have a lot of neat things. I also was looking at a few other things. When you go to choose your bug out location, you want to think about, like, am I near a big city where there's going to be roving gangs, Right. I mean, that sounds obvious, but maybe it's not. So I'd put it out there. Am I near a nuclear reactor? These things, matter. What else? Is this a city that's typically targeted, when you hear, ISIS is looking at all these places, or
right.
North Korea or whatever, whoever's after us on any given day, will refugees come out of the city, or who knows what? You already touched on the weather, what am I going to be able to grow?
Yeah.
The vulnerability to, just think of the landscape, and are you going to, just see how that plays into your survival plan,
that sort of stuff too.
And like that. Also resources, one, we just mentioned the growability, but also your climate, is going to affect that. But also, am I going to be able to get a property close to water, that kind of thing? You mentioned the desert, probably not the move unless you're some kind of, nomad. Maybe you're looking for a road warrior or whatever. Hey, maybe bring it back. And accessibility to you. Don't forget that. If you're buying it as somewhere to move and set up the compound, that's one set of things. Mm-hmm. But if this is your camp that I'm going to go to when the shit hits the fan, it needs to be within an hour away.
Don't find something in Vermont.
So these are things you need to consider. I know he did mention 5.
Well, I'll round out my 5.
You're going to round out your 5? All right, go ahead.
Tennessee, Vermont, Kentucky, Texas, and Missouri. Those are my 5. Those are the 5 I'd pick from. I think I'd head for Kentucky personally, but that's just because I got a special affection for Kentucky.
I think with me, I gotta say Alabama, little hot. Mississippi, little hot. Louisiana. A little hot.
Yeah, you like the
You're seeing
warm
a
weather.
theme here, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Appalachians. Not a bad, thing, and that kind of cuts down through those states, Kentucky, Tennessee. Like you had mentioned, I think actually where I'm leaning now, I'm kind of thinking of a new homestead kind of location. The wife's big on gardening. Kentucky, Tennessee, keep hitting the top of the list. They also, if it didn't suck for other reasons, Washington State, Oregon, out there, a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yep.
They have some real issues with how they want to treat you, though.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, the Dakotas aren't exactly that bad. They're a little cold for growing stuff.
Yeah.
Not my cup of tea. Excuse me. But last thing, too, he mentioned even overseas. So is there any foreign countries? I mean, there's Belize.
Mm-hmm. Now, they say Switzerland is the most libertarian country, but they don't let you in.
Yeah, and they also, they let you in if you say you're a Muslim refugee.
Oh, really?
Then you're cool.
All right.
Then
so
there's
you're
no
right.
problem. And you just got to be like, I lost my passport, and because
one I've been looking at is Uruguay. I've been thinking about checking that out. Uruguay. I spent some time in Argentina. That's nice country down there. But
you know that Mexico has a whole other half further south?
that we didn't.
It's totally different.
Really?
I'm just saying.
All
There's
right.
things out there. I don't know. I was watching some kind of what is it? Maybe Motorcycle Mania or something. Jesse James rides down
Down through Mexico.
Turns out if you get away from America,
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool down
Gets better?
there. It gets
All right.
better. They actually have a coast. Turns out,
Mm-hmm.
kind of water. I don't know.
Okay.
Just putting that out there. Just throwing things. Whatever. All right, moving right along. Next question.
All right. Number 2, also from Mike.
Mike's got a lot of questions. You know what? He's been a long time listener. I
Yes.
guess we're gonna
We
let
can't-
it slide.
Yeah, we can't just snub Mike.
All right.
Top 3 cartridges you should have for the apocalypse.
All right. Cartridges. So this is like for my ink cartridges for my
ink
printer.
cartridges. We're
So
talking
you're
about.
gonna want the multiple color, and you're gonna want the XL or what they
Yeah,
like
you want-
double XL,
yeah.
the long life.
You want the black,
Yeah.
specifically black, and
That might not be what he meant. Actually,
No, I think that one that's overlooked a lot is 22s.
22
Inexpensive,
by far.
great for game hunt.
by far.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of 22 ammo.
Now you want something that's not only going to fit your guns, but is going to be compatible with things that other people want. 9mm might be a great one to have on hand.
9mm is great. Again, I went with 5.56 because in my mind I was like, if I'm dealing with military, if I'm dealing with police, whoever's running wild, 5.56 is going to be readily available. But later as I got more into guns and more into prepping, I kind of feel like I really want a more manly bullet.
Yeah.
You know what? 5.56, they call it a varminter. Your AR-15 for a reason. Because it's good for killing rodents.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good for killing men. You want man-sized bullet. 308, something like that. 7.62. But that's... So, I still think I'd have to agree with you. My official ruling would be top 3 would be 5.56. Number 2 would be 22 rounds. And number 3 would be 9mm.
Yeah.
That's
And let's not forget
exactly what I
shotgun
have.
shells.
And 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch
Yep.
by 12 gauge, and a variety. I like double odd buck, but it's a lot more expensive than. It's weird. My ammo store has like a lot of they call it military grade double odd buck. I don't know. It comes in some weird army surplus kind of box, and I get tons of it and whatever. So that's cool. But whatever, to each his own. But I would say those would be my pick. Would be probably 5.56, 9mm, then down to then 22, then 12 gauge 2 3/4.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be my top 4. Did he have a number on that, or
You said top 3.
top 3? Oh, so
Yeah.
I've already exceeded.
You've already exceeded that.
Wow.
All right. Excellent.
Woo! All right.
Excellent.
Now,
Let's move along.
Let's just tell you, though, in my inventory, it's 5.56. Actually, I have more of that than even 22 rounds, even though they're so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Then 22. Then probably shotgun. Then probably about 500 rounds, 45, ACP or whatever.
Yeah.
45. All right. What do you got?
All right. This one's from Warren.
Warren? All right. No, wait. Didn't you say Mike had 3, or we're saving one?
Well, let's run into Warren. We'll go back to Mike
Oh,
here.
it segues?
Yeah.
All
We
right.
don't want to just bombard it.
I should just let you handle the
Yeah.
questions. Is what
All
you're
right.
saying. Okay.
Warren asks, I'm a truck driver, and I've always wondered what items would you recommend for a person who travels for work? Pretty much a get-home bag.
Oh. Now, bug out bags are a big topic, and
Right.
I got to say the get home bag is right in there.
Right. Now, we're specifically talking about a bag when you say you're trapped, not close to home. You don't necessarily have access to a vehicle,
Okay.
and you just have to hoof it.
All right.
You wouldn't need a get-home bag if the roads were clear and your
Now,
vehicle was operating properly.
can I point out that this is the exact reason why you should carry a firearm with you at all times?
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know when you're going to be 25 or 50 or 100 miles from your house and have to get home.
Right.
That sucks when you didn't bring your gun that day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting that out there. So that's number 1 on my get home bag.
Not everybody carries their bug-out bag in their vehicle at all times.
No, but you said it.
So if you have a
get-home
get
car
home
bag.
bag,
Right.
it wouldn't be bad to have. I have a bag, with warm clothes and that sort of stuff. Maybe a get home bag. Maybe I need to take some of this advice and put a couple extra things in there.
All right.
So what I've got on a total list of get home bag. Now you want to keep it light, obviously. Water, energy bars, shoes. Now usually I wear hiking boots in my day-to-day life, which is a little bit ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
But you might want a pair of broken-in hiking shoes or a pair of good running shoes with good traction on the bottom
Smart.
available. If you wear dress shoes, then you might want to have something
Sneakers,
to change into.
something.
Yeah. Lighter, fire starter, something along those lines. Multi-tool, map and compass. Now, when it comes to maps, depending on the area you're in, the area you travel in, you might want to make sure you have a map that has hiking trails as well. Because
Nice.
you might want to stay off of main roads, especially if you don't have a vehicle that you're in when you're moving.
Nice.
Cash,
I like cash.
lightweight tarp, in case you got to weather out a
Might be a
rainstorm.
poncho, the emergency whatever in the bag. The emergency blanket.
Headlamp or flashlight, small first aid kit,
Matches lighter.
rope so you can build your shelter if you got to,
Or tie people up.
and
Secret of the
weather
pros.
radio.
Nice.
Now,
Now you carry all that.
I don't carry that. A lot of that stuff I don't have the weather
So-
radio with me in the vehicle.
Headlamp, flashlight, emergency tarp. I actually carry a trauma bag in my car, but that's more, you never know what accident you're going to come up on or,
Right.
anything like that. You just want to be ready for whatever life throws at you,
Mhm. Yeah, I have to say, my bag that's in my car, I don't have a tarp. I don't have.
And
Well, I think I've got everything else here.
I
the
carry
weather
a
radio.
firearm.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I just shoot somebody and take whatever else
Take
is
their-
on this list, and I get there.
That's not.
I
That's
see
not
somebody
morally
in the
okay.
car
Chuck.
next to me snacking on a protein bar, and I'm like, oh yeah. My wife's car, I do have the 72-hour food kit.
Mm-hmm.
She actually carries a sleeping bag.
Okay.
All my vehicles do actually have a Leatherman in it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, actually, the wife's car, I have sleeping bag, the poncho, the emergency blanket, the 72-hour food kit, a Leatherman, and a flashlight. So there's something. I'm moving in the right direction.
Right. Right. And a lot of the time when you're out driving, moving around, you get used to the fastest way to get to places. But when you're on foot, you need to think about the shortest distance. Can be a different route that you're going to end up taking back to your house than if you were driving.
One of the things I consider all the time is I work on a different side of the Hudson River than I live on. And whenever something happens, I always kind of go to what bridge can I get over faster? Mm-hmm. Even if it takes me more time, it's an extra 5 miles. I want to get on the right side of the river when things get shut down.
Right.
Because they do get shut down. I know it's hard to imagine whatever, but we're close enough to the city that they'll shut down the bridges. Sometimes people are jumping off them. Sometimes an accident, whatever. Things go bad. I want to get on the right side of the river because that's going to be a big obstacle for me to overcome if I can't.
Right. All right. Let's go to Bruce here. What are your thoughts on preparing your body and eating habits now? Now, a lot of what I think about is, staying in shape is obviously a big factor. If you can't run, 2 miles in a reasonable amount of time, then you need to maybe start thinking about getting in shape that way. I'm not saying you have to be a bodybuilder. I'm not saying that, anything like that. But some basic endurance exercise, I think, is important for everybody.
Sounds right.
I personally, like to spend a little bit of time on the heavy bag. I like to do my push-ups and sit-ups. Those are, basic, easy things that you can do any place. Not the body bag, but the push-ups and sit-ups you can do any place. Another thing that I would recommend, though, aside of eating healthy, is eat off some of your stocked food. Go for the things that have the oldest expiration date or the newest expiration date, one closest that's going to run out fast. Eat that stuff, and you're going to realize quick that you don't like what you're stocking. You might not like eating the stuff that you're saving for the end of the world, and realize that you might have to change your methods of what you're storing. So, aside of eating healthy, I would recommend eating some of the stuff that you're saving. And just
so
restock.
I shouldn't have bought the year's supply of food without tasting any of it?
Yeah, no, it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. If you realize that you have 50 jars of peanut butter and you hate peanut butter, then maybe it's time to start changing things up a little bit.
Nice. Now, I actually have one. Was that it for his question?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in? Okay. So, I actually had a listener, Matt.
Okay.
Who heard that our 100th episode was coming up. He was excited. He's like, you know what? I got a business called Ace High Armory.
Okay. And
what they do over there, he's got a lot of products on like gun cleaning and gun protection, maintenance, that kind of stuff. And he was like, you know what? For your 100th episode, I'm going to hook you guys up with, and all our listeners here, with a 15% off.
Okay.
Nice, hooking us up. So if you use the code PREPPER15, and he has all capital letters for the Prepper. I don't know if that's a thing or not, that it matters, but I'd play it safe. So anyway, bottom line, he's got this gun elixir, and I've seen it. It actually, it's made in America, non-toxic, so if you get thirsty, you're like, hey. No, that's probably not a good idea, actually. I'm not really sure on that one.
Well, but it says that you can use it for cookware if you're cleaning your knives, right? It's non-toxic.
So, he wasn't actually recommending you'd eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big things is it doesn't harden. Like a lot of when I'm cleaning the guns and I go through, I find I have to clean it again like a week later because it gets like a gel, thick, kind of gunky.
If you use too much
and that's where this stuff's cool, is it really, stays liquid. But yeah, folding knives, whatever, non-toxic. So anything that really need to protect from corrosion. And then there's this silicone shield. But that's it comes in like a soft flannel cloth, and it's got like a silicone protectant, so you just wipe on and buff off, and just leaves things clean and nice. So I'm just saying.
Okay, now what was the name of the?
Now it's Ace High Armory.
Ace High Armory. All right.
Again, I'm going to put a link in the show notes. You know, I always take care of you guys.
15% off for
but 15% off, and his prices are pretty great to begin with.
Okay.
So it's not a bad deal, and I was kind of like, hey, that's pretty cool. Throw us a bone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was saying even like fishing tackle, pretty much anything metal you want to protect it. You know, maybe the wife and the gardening tools. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
When she puts them up for the season, throw a little lube on there. Not necessarily a bad way to be. So, again, it's Ace High Armory. And if you use the code PREPPER15, he's going to hook you up. So, I'm just saying, you know, what is it, Thomas Jefferson? Is that the one?
What did he say?
Your powder dry and... No?
No, I don't think so. I think that's
a no-go?
Yeah.
All right. We'll move right along without that one.
All right.
Maybe I'll do my research again next time. So,
All
next
right.
question.
Let's get back to Mike here.
See, I knew you weren't going to give up on Mike.
What is the best food item you can grow in a place with shitty weather for gardening? Now, shitty weather that's his words, not mine.
Oh, that's good, because, you know, we don't like to use offensive words here on the the Survival Podcast here. I actually made some notes, and there's a lot of things that'll kind of grow anywhere.
All right. Do you want to get into it?
I see you're letting me just jump
on
that.
I've got a list here, but...
Let me hear yours.
Well, tomatoes...
And I'll tell you where you went wrong.
Are pretty good, pretty hardy.
All right.
Alaska, you're not growing tomatoes, though. The best things are carrots, beets, and... Now, it says zucchini on the list that I looked at. I've never been able to grow zucchini, and I'm pretty good at growing vegetables. Yeah. So I don't know about that.
I was reading from a guy up in Montana was saying beets, parsnips, turnips, onions, and carrots.
Onions probably be pretty easy to do.
And he says he's growing 300 to 400 pounds of onions every year. And so, I mean, you know, beans, you know, they're high protein. Beans really will grow in a lot of environments. There's a lot of different.
Mm-hmm.
Garlic is awesome.
Garlic.
One,
root
it's got medicinal stuff, really any of the root stuff.
Yeah.
But garlic, you know, it's a, antibiotic and, you know, a lot of cool things there for your health. They always say the three sisters, you know, the corn, squash, and beans.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty much staples, and you can go pretty far north with the corn.
Yeah.
What else? The one that I really like, and this depends on your definition of shitty, is sweet potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet potatoes are more of a tropical, however, you can grow them here. You can grow, and, you know, we're in New York, so. You know,
Zone 7.
Zone 7. So, I mean, I'm just saying, but I think the go-to are the root vegetables. You know, think beets, parsnips, turnips, onions, carrots, garlic, and like I said, try and fit some beans in there, and you're doing pretty good. And that stuff is all great for long-term storage, as well as, you know, stuff that will grow in most hardy climates.
Yeah. All right, I think that's pretty good.
I didn't figure we had to cover tropical stuff because everything freaking grows there.
Yeah.
It's like bananas and crap just coming off a, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it is, a lot of places are going to have a hard time growing vegetables when it comes to low rainfall, you know.
So you thought you'd trip me up on not having a good list there? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's, how about Kat?
What'd she have?
Let's see here. Kat asked, how would you deal with the challenges of trying to survive with an elderly family member?
The elderly family member.
Now, that's a bit tricky.
That's a tough one that we
always talk about all these things about survivalism, how to survive in the woods, that sort of stuff. That goes right out the window because they're not, you know, an elderly person isn't going to be climbing mountain ranges. And
if you're telling us that your 60-year-old or 65-year-old is fit and can run and whatever, well, then obviously they just fit into the normal person scenario.
And I think we could include elderly and or disabled people.
Okay, I like it.
So what we want to get into is let me see here what I got.
I'm going to leave this one in your capable hands.
All right. What I would say is plan on bugging in. Plan on sticking around your house. Now, that's not always possible, but stock up on your medications. Keep an eye on the expiration dates of your medications. And then think about what natural alternatives you might be able to use to supplement your medications if you run out. Now, you know what they call natural medicine that works? Medicine.
What?
I don't put a lot of stock in natural medicines, but in worst case scenario, you need to at least have in mind what you can supplement.
My experience, if you don't go to the doctor, you're not really sick. No, you don't seem to.
No.
You didn't seem to take the bait on that one.
Keep spare batteries for equipment charged up.
Okay.
A lot of people have, wheelchairs, things like that, hearing aids, different battery-operated things.
I would think
might be necessary.
Stockpiling the hearing aid battery might be a cool.
Yeah, definitely something to keep on hand.
Some extra glasses, that kind of thing.
Yep, I actually have that down there too. Extra pairs of glasses. Know where your water, electrical, and gas shutoffs are for in your house when you have an emergency coming, storm coming, something like that. Now, if you were able to get into a vehicle and there's a storm coming, there's warning, power is going to be out, it's best to just get out if you can. Head out when there's a warning and not,
So you're saying a hurricane's
threat.
Coming, you're in an old folks home in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to leave before?
Yeah, take off. Don't wait for the, because you're going to be down there in Florida.
Now, what if it's your mom in the nursing home?
Pick her up.
Pick her up.
Pick her up. It's your mom. She gave you life. That's your mother.
All right. Secret of the pros right there.
Now, a lot of states have registration where you can register for evacuation assistance.
Now, FEMA's going to help out here, right?
They might. They might show up. They might not. Who knows?
All right.
Now, we talked about packing glasses and extra batteries for hearing aids. But also think about your medical insurance cards, an emergency contact list, and
passports. We might just be fleeing the country.
Yeah. It's also important to improve your home security. If you're bugging in, make sure your house is safe. If you're going to have a hard time defending yourself, and sometimes, when you're elderly, the kickback from guns can be a little bit difficult to operate.
Right. Now, what if we could work out some kind of sling, some kind of harness for that gun? Is that something I might want to consider
that's an idea.
Before the shit hits the fan?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I like it.
Yep. All right. Now, we got one more question.
All right.
Is
this the stumper?
This is the stumper.
All right. What do you got?
All right. How much exercise should you do while you're holed up somewhere? Obviously, this would depend on the amount of food and supplies that you have.
This is the
What is the right amount of training to do? Now, what kind of exercise can you do if you're on a restricted diet? If you only have so many calories, how are you going to choose to burn them? What I would recommend is stay supple. I'd stretch it out, man.
Stretch it out.
I mean, that's not necessarily going to build up your strength.
Some kind of Tai Chi?
Tai Chi. Ooh. I would say yoga, but yoga can be pretty intense.
Be intense.
Yeah. So I would just recommend spending some time stretching out your muscles. Do a minimum amount of exercise, whatever you can do without burning too many calories.
There's a lot of cool things you can do if oxygen and food are not a problem.
Right.
You're just in a confined space, but you have lots of supplies. Push-ups, jumping jacks, a lot of these. But like Kevin was saying, if we're worried about our air, if we're worried about, because we're stuck in the confined space, And our food, we only have so many calories. I don't need to burn 1,000 calories in a workout.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be the way to go. But staying ready to go, if you're in prison, that's a confined space.
Right.
And that chow line, the mess hall is cooking.
Yeah.
So if you want to,
Yeah,
hit
well,
it
I think
hard, pull-ups, push-ups,
mhm.
the basics. Bruce Lee was king of the basics.
Right, 1,000
he
push-ups
didn't
a
have
day. I actually knew a guy fresh out of prison, and he was yoked up, and he told me 500 push-ups a day. Every day he'd do 500 push-ups. That seems pretty intense, man.
My younger boy's probably pretty close to that.
Yeah?
He doesn't mess around.
Now, as far as cardiovascular, I used to shit on jumping jacks all the time. I still do. They're not good for anything.
Or what is it, burpees or jump ups or something too?
The 8-count bodybuilders. That sort of stuff for cardio. It's good. If you have no place to run, jumping jacks are fine. Just make sure you don't do 10. That's not good for nothing.
No.
You gotta don't think about how many you can do. Think about how long you can do it. Right?
Nice.
So,
but again, all those things we just mentioned there are going to suck up your oxygen.
And suck up calories.
And they're going to suck up calories. So, again, stretching, light, minimum, that's where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But, but you definitely need to be moving. And you know what? Actually, if you're trying to conserve calories, massaging the muscles might not be a bad way to go.
Okay.
Kind of working through. Avoid the atrophy.
Yeah, and I don't know. Depends on who you're with. You might be able to get a happy ending.
Oh, taking it a little far, but hey, we all have dreams, right?
Yeah, it's another great exercise you can do in a confined space.
We had 2 other listeners. I don't want to discount their questions. John and Ethan had both sent in about off-grid communications.
Right.
I didn't want to get into it on this episode. I'm going to try and work one out in the very near future. I keep holding out. I got a buddy who is amazing with a ham radio. He's been, he was in the Army, and he's been owns a repair shop just doing radios and TVs and that kind of thing. And has been doing ham radio and teaching a course since, 40 years, I think he's been doing it.
Uh-huh.
Problem is, he leads a very stressful, busy life. And I think somewhere around our 3rd episode, I asked him and I said, you know what, man? I want to do an episode on ham radios. Can you help me out? Oh, yeah, no problem. I'm all about it. I'm going to hook you up. And
that was 2 years ago?
Now we're at 100, and I'm not seeing it.
All right.
So I'm trying to decide what to do, because we can do research like we do for everything. And I understand it. I actually, as an electronic technician in the Navy, turns out I know how to make radios work.
Uh-huh.
I know how to fix them. I know how to operate them. But it's not my area of expertise. So I think we're torn. I'm going to reach out for the next couple weeks. If we don't turn up something, I'll do the research and we'll get you guys where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a lot of things about other types of comms, even small handheld radios, different ways of communicating, some even encrypted through the internet, different things. We're going to try and get into all of it, in a limited world where you could, find ways to make that work. So we're going to get out for you. Oh, and there was one more. Somebody, the chickens.
Oh, that's right.
That was Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan mentioned chickens and wanted to do a little bit more, possibly a whole episode. I think we can. I
think we can
work that out. Although I have to point out, my chickens. I go outside, I throw the feed on the ground, and I fill up their water, and I walk away.
Mm-hmm.
That's about what's involved in taking care of chickens. The big thing, bad things get in there. They're always trying to get in there. Dogs, foxes, coyote, wolves.
Yep.
Any of these want to dig.
And some of them will just get in there and kill everything, not even planning on eating them.
So having a secure fence around it is going to be huge. But I'll see if we can come up with a good episode for you in the near future on that. Also, coffee.
EDC Coffee.
Tell me about that. What are
That's
they
right.
offering?
Well, EDC Coffee, I've been getting EDC Coffee for a while now.
You have?
Every cup of coffee I drink when I'm camping, I bring instant coffee, but every cup of coffee that I drink at home.
You're not a Starbucks guy.
No, sir. And I don't buy coffee out at the place.
Some people call it $4. But...
McDonald's makes a decent cup of coffee, and it's only $1. Can't complain about it, but I make my coffee at home, and I bring it with me. Everyday carry. It's a collection of essential items you carry with you on a daily basis. If you forget these items, it would make your day a little more difficult. Whether they're in your pocket, backpack, briefcase, or in your car, they're essential to your lifestyle. An EDC is what makes you prepared for everyday situations. Firefighters' EDC might be completely different than a mechanic's or an engineer's. EDC wants to hear what you guys carry every day, and they want to hear your feedback. So if you go to their website and post a picture of you can go to their website, post a picture of your everyday carry. If you go there, you can type in badass, get 10% off the coffee. It's already excellent coffee. It's already an excellent price. Get your coffee from them. You know, people, it's good to support people that support your lifestyle. So, if you're big on coffee, then I recommend going to their website. I'm going to be drinking
coffee anyway.
Yeah.
I actually paid out of pocket and ordered some coffee. I actually used the coupon code BADASS.
The BADASS coupon?
Now, I've had coffee at your house, and it's everyday carry coffee. I found it quite enjoyable. I have some coming to my house. It has not arrived yet.
Okay.
I'm a little anxious. I checked the mailbox. But I also have to point out, my kids don't exactly get the mail every day.
Okay.
Sometimes it's every third day. The mailbox is kind of far away. You know how it goes. So,
but if you guys want to
lowercase letters,
10%
off.
10% off. If you guys want to post some of your EDC stuff on our Facebook page, love that. If you want to post it on the EDC Coffee Facebook page, that would be cool too.
I don't even know how you post something on somebody else's Facebook page.
Yeah, it's complicated stuff.
All right.
It's hard stuff. But now
I did figure out how that tagging works though, but go on.
All right.
Sorry.
So this is the situation. When you get your coffee, order from EDC, get 10% off, support these guys, they're supporting us, and let's make this happen.
And I mentioned that you might want to keep your guns clean.
Keep your guns clean.
So, Ace High Armory, code over there is going to be, I don't know, I have to look, Prepper15.
Prepper15, that's right.
So, use that, all capital letters, Prepper15. You know I'm going to put it in the show notes. 15% is pretty cool. That's a good deal, and you're going to be cleaning your guns anyway.
Right.
You're going to be drinking coffee anyway.
That's right.
So, I don't know why you wouldn't support people who think like you.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when your other option is supporting those damn hippies over at Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Everyday carry is the way to go. So, and clean guns. That only seems right.
All right, now
I don't want to hear excuses about not having your guns cleaned.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
If you want to get a hold of us, send us an email. We're going to reply. PreppingBadass@gmail.com.
I like it. And you said you'll reply?
I personally, Kevin will reply
is taking
to your emails.
All right.
Send it in. PreppingBadass@gmail.com.
If you feel like we're a little unresponsive,
it's my fault.
That's Kevin.
I take full responsibility for that.
So there you have it. Otherwise, I think we're pretty caught up. Again, you know what would be a nice thing to do for the 100th episode? You've toughed it out for 100. You probably want to go over to our Facebook page, hit like, make sure you're getting all the updates. You may want to head over to iTunes and leave a review.
Yeah,
about
we
how
haven't had
fantastic
we haven't had many
the last
reviews lately.
100 episodes have been,
Mm-hmm.
and how excited you are about the next 100.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there. A little from me to you. You also may want to go over to Patreon, chip in $1 a month, maybe $3 a month. I don't know.
Yeah, if we could get all the listeners to donate $2 a month, I will quit my job.
I don't think it's going to be quit your job kind of money. I don't know what you've been making over there. All right, sounds good. Kevin's quitting his job.
I'm quitting.
You just want the unemployment, right? Or is
Yeah,
there some kind of way to work that?
Well,
I'll
I'll start doing two episodes a week. Hell, I got
There
all
you
sorts
go.
of extra time.
Sounds good. All right, so with that, stay safe, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.